Hey everybody, Ann Walzak here, Associate Editor and Cocktail Columnist for Edible Nashville, and I am coming to you live from my house in Spring Hill. It's where we do these things now. Here for another segment of, I still don't know what to call this, so this time we're going to call it Have Yourself a Merry Little Cocktail, because that's what we're doing. We're making a merry little cocktail, and a little cocktail at that, because it has literally one ingredient of booze in it. So that's all you have to do. Just buy yourself one bottle and then use other items that are in your pantry around this time of year anyway. So that makes things nice and simple. Before this little ditty started, I went ahead and put the kettle on and I boiled about 8 ounces of water. You can do 12 if you'd like, but whatever fits into your glass. So we're gonna get that started. And then you wanna steep 1 tea bag of black tea. You can do Earl Grey if you want, a little stronger bergamot flavor. I use English breakfast because it is a potent black tea that has a lot of nice flavor, but nothing that overwhelms other flavors. So we're gonna let that go. About 3 minutes, depends on how much hot water you have in there, but you want it to be strong. That's the important part. And then we're gonna put in our mulling kind of spices. I'm using cloves predominantly, about 6 cloves, a sage leaf, a little bit of rosemary. You can just pop them right in the hot water if you want, but I have this loose leaf tea or stew herb infusing little ball, so that's gonna go in there. That makes it nice and convenient for me. But again, if you don't have that, go ahead and just throw them in your hot water and strain it out after this step. If you're straining, I suggest doing this step in the glass that you're not going to be drinking the cocktail out of, so that you can strain it into the glass that you're then going to enjoy your drink. We are making the mulled toddy from our November-December issue that's out now. Lovely photography by Rebecca Denton. She's actually tried the mulled toddy at a family little get-together recently, so it is tested, coworker approved. We're happy about that. And basically the reason I made this mulled toddy was because I wanted to do kind of a hybrid between hot mulled wine or glühwein and typical hot toddy. And hot toddies are just hot water and whiskey, a little bit of cloves, lemon juice, honey. It kind of varies from person to person, but it just started as a comforting, almost cold remedy to put some whiskey and some hot water. But I've done mine with tea ever since I can remember. I don't know if it was starting out as a bartender and not knowing any better, someone gave me one with tea, or if it's just how I like it, but it became just how I like it. So I make my hot toddies with black tea and whiskey, lemon, honey, cloves, cinnamon, sometimes some anise, whatever just makes you feel warm and cozy when you're sick. I think about that and then I put that in my hot toddy. So when I made this one, I put in some molasses for spice and body, and then this Koval cranberry gin liqueur. So this is a liqueur, less potent than a base spirit like gin or whiskey or tequila would be. Those usually start at about 40% alcohol, so 80 proof, and go up from there. Liqueurs are usually between 20 and 35%. This one is 30%, so 60%. Or 60 proof, 30% alcohol, 60 proof. But it comes from a lovely distillery in Chicago. And the cranberry flavor in a hot drink just kind of reminded me of the flavor of that warm wine. I am German. My in-laws are uber German. So we do tend to drink glühwein on the holidays. And we just put it on the stove, a bunch of bottles of wine, just throw it in a pot on the stove. Maybe some oranges. We put in the cinnamon, the cloves, all the mulling spices. And then we leave the anise out because my family is a little extra. We tend to throw in some Jägermeister into our glühwein. If you've never had Jägermeister before, it's a little rough. It's a dark digestif from Germany, tastes of strong black licorice, but when you throw it in some hot mulled wine, you don't get that strong licorice flavor. You just get, a little boost to your glühwein. It's really nice. So I'm going to take this out of here now. We'll say it's been around 3 minutes, probably has been. And then I'm going to go with a teaspoon of molasses. Start with a teaspoon and then kind of go to taste from there, kind of decide what tastes good for you. I'm gonna give it a little stir, let that melt into there. Oh, nice. And then start with an ounce. An ounce of Koval cranberry gin liqueur. You can do 1.5 ounces. You can do 2. You can do 5. Nobody's judging. Just kind of go with how rough your 2020 was. Or maybe I shouldn't say that. We'd all just be drinking out of the bottle. So that's that. Then we're gonna put a little rosemary in there. Again, you can put that in your steeping herbs. I did a couple, but even if you don't put it in your steeping herbs and you just use it as a nice little garnish here, it serves more of a purpose. You don't want to underestimate aromatics in a cocktail. You can even torch this and then blow it out real quick, just to get that aroma going, the smoke going around. But the first thing that happens when you bring a glass to your mouth is you smell what's right there. When you get that rosemary with the hot tea and the cranberry, it's just super cozy, and you'll just sit and watch some twinkly lights and forget that 2020 ever happened. Yeah. So, pick up a copy of November, December's issue, get the recipe for Mulled Toddy. You can also get it online at ediblenashville.com. Be sure to make yourself one of these, 5 of these. And then, log on, ediblenashville.com, buy yourself, buy your spouse, buy your in-laws, subscription to Edible Nashville. We're doing a 1-week promotion right now where you can get a whole subscription for just $20.21 to ring in the new year. What the heck, buy some for your cousins that you never talk to, except when they send you a Christmas card. I think it's great. Other than that, have yourself a Merry Christmas, a Merry Holiday, and a Merry Cocktail.